Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here again, and Santa just dropped by my house and gave me a little gift. That's Power Rangers Dino Fury episode 22, Secret Santa, so I thought I would gift y'all with a review. Um, it's October, and this is like a scarily good episode, so I guess it fits. Dad jokes aside, this is actually a really good episode. As I mentioned in my Void Trap review, I hadn't really heard too many good things about this episode. It was more of like a holiday special than a Christmas themed episode. And while that's still mostly true, it does have some plot relevance, going into season 2. And we'll get into that in the review itself, but as always, let's do our formatting. So summary, likes, dislikes, conclusion, and then our questions of the week, because surprisingly, we do have some questions from this episode. So yeah, let's get right into it. So this episode is, again, a Christmas themed episode or Christmas special. Essentially, the Rangers are having like a nice little Secret Santa thing in the base that's been obviously orchestrated by Amelia. And unfortunately, Javi, he ends up getting Solon some gloves, but obviously my girl has some claws, not pincers, but claws. I don't. She has claws, right? So that doesn't exactly work. So the Rangers go. The other Rangers teleport out of the base to go grab Solon a proper gift, and they tell Javi, chill, stay here at the base, distract Solon while we go get her something a little bit better. I'm like, okay, and then the Rangers end up. Santa ends up getting his what's it called? Like he has like a notebook that he can draw things in, and it makes things automatically. And he ends up getting that stolen by Slither and Mucus. Yes, you heard that right. He ends up getting it stolen by Slither and Mucus, who we last saw stuck in the dark dimension in the previous episode. So they are back with no real explanation. We'll get to that here in a second, though. But yeah, so they steal it. The other 5 Rangers end up battling Slither and Mucus, who summon some henchmen. Then Slither uses the book to summon what's it called, a giant spider monster from Ryu Soldier. I thought it was a jellyfish upon my first viewing. It wasn't until my second that I noticed that it's actually a spider. I would love to know the reasoning behind this. Like I kind of want to watch that episode of Ryu Soldier and figure out what the plot was there. But yeah, they end up fighting. Meanwhile, in the base, Javi and Solon are busy talking and everything, and they open up a present, or they open up a card. I guess the Rangers have gotten like cards from people around the world, people celebrating the Power Rangers. And so they open up a card, and it's from Mucus. And the card sends out an EMP that disables the electronics, so then they can't teleport out and they can't communicate with anyone outside the base. So they're stuck in the base, and there's a bomb that's going to go off in 10 minutes. And I like the little hologram they had to represent Mucus and represent the timer for that bomb. So obviously they have to figure out what's going on. They eventually do figure that out. Then Javi gets out. They battle a giant Slither, not the regular Slither, but Slither drew a giant version of himself to battle. So we have 2 separate Slithers in this episode. But yeah, the Rangers battle a giant Slither, win, get back to the base. Everyone exchanges gifts, and we have a nice little moment where Santa's like, "Yeah, I won't use it. I'm good on that thing. I'm good on my free labor from the elves." I'm like, okay. I wonder how the elves feel about that. But yeah, that's pretty much the episode. Let's go ahead and talk about what I liked about this episode. So, my guy Slither, as I've said multiple times, was on point with his disguises. At the start of the episode, Javi is singing, he's using his piano, he's singing to people, and he has like his little guitar case out to take like donations and things like that. And I honestly forgot that Javi could sing. I really hope we see more of Javi singing in season 2, because my guy has a nice voice. And some random person drops a star of, not a Star of David, but like a Christmas topper that's in the shape of a star, Christmas tree topper in the shape of a star in Javi's guitar case. So they end up taking that back to the base and popping it on top of the tree. That ends up being the bomb that's going to explode in the base. And so that was super clever of Slither. Like, yeah, I love Slither. I'm happy that he's back. I don't like how they haven't explained why they're back, but I'll give that my dislikes. But yeah, Slither's plans are always on point. His disguises always get the job done. Eventually, the Rangers are Solon and Javi end up finding out that okay, so it's the Christmas tree topper that's the bomb. We're gonna throw that into the case we use for the sporks. That's gonna explode in the case, and it's gonna contain the explosion. Again, quick thinking for my people. Again, these Rangers, these side characters are great in this season. The second thing I like is that there was purpose to the flashbacks. You know, this is a clip show episode, obviously to save budget, and it was good. It was really good. Clip shows are normally a divisive thing in the fandom, but I thought this used the clips or the reasoning behind the clips rather well. So Mucus, when she's talking in the hologram, she says that they've hidden an explosive somewhere at the base. So the Ranger or Javi and Solon obviously need to figure out, okay, what in the base is going to explode. So the logical thing is that it's probably one of the gifts that are sitting below the tree. So they go through all the gifts, which are Secret Santa gifts from one Ranger to the other, or from Solon to another person. Solon ends up getting, I think it was Javi, a present. But they end up going through all of the people's gifts, right? And they have a legitimate reason to play these clips from previous episodes. They open up a gift, they see that there's a punching bag and like a gym uniform. They're like, huh, okay, this one's for Zato. Izzy obviously got this for him, and it makes sense because flashback to Izzy and to that episode where Izzy, Zato, Fern, and what's his name were at that gym, and they were with the sleazy gym owner, and Zato he's over here punching the punching bag and he breaks it, right? And so that's obviously a reference to that episode. There are multiple moments like that sprinkled through this moment where they're going through the presents, and I liked it. I had no problem seeing these clips again because it made sense within the context of the episode. So yeah, that was good. Solon does end up getting Javi a new key to his guitar because I guess Javi's keyboard. Javi's electric keyboard is missing a key, and they don't make that electric keyboard anymore, so you can't get a replacement. So Solon ends up somehow making or getting him one. I thought that was cute. That was really cute. I guess let me segue into the comedy here real quick. I guess Ion doesn't know who Santa is, but somehow Zato does. That was weird. I don't know why Ion doesn't know who Santa is, but Ion doesn't know who Santa is, so he didn't really understand Secret Santa and how that worked. He thought they meant Secret Sander. So this man went to a hardware store and bought a sander. And I guess the guy who was selling him the sander just looked at him very weird, very oddly. Why are you buying a sander in the middle of winter? It doesn't make any sense, bruh. Yo, when he said that in the episode, it was funny. It was absolutely hilarious for me. Also, girl, as much as I like the gifts, tell me why Amelia's present to Ollie was his poncho he wore in the first episode where he got shocked by Amelia with her ghost capturing thing. Tell me why she took that and drew like ghost eyes on the hood and called it a day. Like, girl, you work at Buzz Blast. You were offering to buy to help contribute to Izzy's torn up gym uniform, and you also pitched in when Javi needed a new keytar. I know very well you could have bought this man something else, but also at the end of the day, it's the thought that counts, and that really was kind of a heartfelt gift. And Ollie seemed happy. Amelia was over here giving him the googly, the love struck eyes, right? She was like, "Oh, you're welcome." And I'm like, look at her getting her flirt on. That's another thing I liked about the episode. They were just really cute in that moment. I can't decide if I want Ollie and Amelia to get together, in the middle of season 2, or had that be like an end of season 2 thing. Like, normally I'm like, Power Rangers, I prefer them to be a couple in the middle. But ever since Haley and Calvin and Ninja Steel, like, those two were booed up from day one, and they look cute as hell together. The cuddling and everything, I was living for it. And I'm like, they set the bar for my Ranger relationships, and I feel like I haven't seen anything from Amelia and Ollie that can match up to them. I feel like anything that they do might be a disappointment to me. So I'm like, if y'all throw this in at the end of season 2, there's no possible way I can be disappointed. Just them getting together is good enough for me. But hey, we'll see what the writers do. We will see what the writers do. So there's a scene where Javi activates the Mist Wrist around some henchmen, and then Ion follows up with one of his electric attacks. And because Mist is water, right, and that's all around the henchmen, the electricity gets conducted into the water, and that ends up blowing up the henchmen. It's like just those kind of combination attacks. It shows a really good synergy between the teammates, and that's always a pleasure to see. And I cannot wait to see more of that in season 2. Like I'm always here for combination attack between Rangers and just heroes in general. It's cool. Briefly going back to the comedy, there was also a scene where after the Rangers beat the spider monster and then Javi ends up joining them, they have to summon their Zords again. And Zeto's like, alright, time to summon the Zords again. And I'm like, just the fact that he seemed tired of having to summon the Zords again. Like, that was funny. And then, before that, when they have to summon the Zords the first time, because they can't communicate with Solon to get her to summon the Zords, Zeto has to summon them manually. So he uses the override, and he uses the phrase, Zeto is cool. And I completely forgot about that. They used that, I think it was in the episode where Slider first debuted, and I forgot about that phrase. I completely forgot about it. That put a big old smile on my face, and it was funny. I do kind of wish that Ion had commented on Zeto saying that, because they were right next to each other, and I'm pretty sure my boy Ion could have heard Zeto say that, but it would have been funny if Ion would have given him like that side eye, like, bruh, what did you just say? And then there was also a scene, so after Slider summons his giant Slider to fight the Rangers, it was a good fight. With Slider's theatrics not naturally carrying into his giant form. He was all like, block, kick, dodge, all that kind of stuff that Slider normally does on his ground fights. And then when they were about to defeat the giant Slider, they threw him up into the air and had the Dino Fury Megazord Warrior formation doing like this pile driver on him, right? And so on the ground, a normal Slider is like, tuck and roll, giant me, tuck and roll. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Like that, like there's something that's just super funny about that. Like, I'm happy that Mucus and Slider are back, but segueing into my dislikes, well, I know you like that one, I don't like the fact that there's no real explanation. Like, the Rangers are just as surprised as we are that Mucus and Slider are back, and no one gets an explanation about how they came back. Like, they just kind of brush it off to the side. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, them being in the dark dimension, them escaping, that's a big thing, because we know Slider can shapeshift into different beings, but we also know from his debut episode where he was lampooning as a Ravkonian to kind of trick Zeto, that when he shapeshifts into a different thing, he doesn't take on their powers. As a Ravkonian, he couldn't read people's minds, so he couldn't shapeshift into somebody who could use a portal to get out of the dark dimension. We also know that Mucus doesn't have any dimension hopping powers, right? So it's like, how in the world did they get out of the dark dimension? Was it Zed that ended up getting them out? Was it some other monster we haven't seen and we're not going to see until season 2? Like, what happened there? Like, I want to know more about that. But yeah, that's pretty much my dislikes for the episode. Yeah, so though I'm not really happy with the way Slider and Mucus were introduced in this episode, I'm pretty confident we're going to get some sort of explanation going into season 2. The writing of this season has been good enough that I can push that off to the side for now. It's not a real big complaint that's going to be a deterrent to the episode. And the comedy they brought into the episode, it put a smile on my face as always, which is pretty much the best way to summarize this episode. It offered a chance for the Rangers to have nice little heartwarming moments together and have those nice little bonding moments in a relatively low stakes, just a jolly episode. That's good. It's something that they really needed after defeating Void Knight. And I think it's the perfect end cap, or perfect epilogue to the season. And it was fantastic. It's something that if we do end up permanently moving to Netflix for season 2 and maybe other seasons beyond Dino Fury, I hope that we retain some of these holiday specials, as Christmas themed, or sorry, as holiday themed episodes, because they can be a really good respite away from the normal, story focused things, but they can also still, add to their fair share of the plot. They can still do things that advance the story in different ways, and they can still be, episodes that you won't really want to skip. But yeah, this was a great episode. It gets 2 thumbs up for me. Don't skip it. Definitely watch it when you get the chance. But yeah, on to our questions of the week. So this week we have 2 questions. Number 1 is, how will Void Knight return? Mucus and Scyther mentioned that, the Rangers destroyed Void Knight. And I think it's obvious that, Void Knight's going to return in some way, shape, or form. So at this point, it's not so much of a will he return, but rather, how is that going to happen? We don't really know what led Mucus and Scyther to believe that Void Knight's gone. I guess they've obviously been back to the base. Did they see his helmet and deduce that he's destroyed? Did they see a body? Or do they just assume that because nobody's in the base that he's been destroyed? We don't know about that, but we do know that he's probably going to be back in some way, shape, or form. I want to see how that happens. I want to see the story leading up to that, shocking moment. Second question, I've already mentioned it throughout the episode, is how does Scyther and Mucus escape the dark dimension? That's a really big thing that I expect to get addressed in season 2, even if it's just a throwaway line. I have full confidence in the writers to address that, but I'm excited to see what becomes of that little plot thread, because it's something I really want to know. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my review. Dino Fury, the second half of Dino Fury will be available on Netflix in the US here on October 15th. So that's not next Friday, but the Friday after that. Alright, I guess not this upcoming Friday, but the next Friday. So look forward to that. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch the episodes yet, they'll be available at that point in time. I have all of the episodes reviewed here on my channel. I've got a nice little playlist from episode 1 to episode 22 now. So again, thank you to everyone who stuck around from beginning to the end for this season. I really do appreciate that. I went from reviewing 2 episodes of Beast Morphers to 22 episodes of Dino Fury. That's a big thing. That may not seem like a big thing, but for me, that is a huge thing. Doing these reviews and figuring out the formatting and everything, it's been an absolute delight, and I'm so happy that I've got to share this journey with y'all. I'm looking forward to doing season 2 reviews. Things aren't over for the year though. I still have more content, Dino Fury content planned for the year, so look forward to that. I do want to pose a quick question though. For my reviews going to season 2, do y'all still want to see this whole summary, likes, dislikes, conclusion, and question of the week episode I've been doing these last few reviews? Or do you prefer that I do like I did, before the Nick break, where I did like the whole episode was basically a summary, or the whole review was basically a summary, where I interjected my thoughts on key points in the episode throughout the summary? Let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section below. Until next time, again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching all my reviews. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Dr. Zio. Again, stay safe out there. Wear your mask when you're around people. Get that vaccine if you can. Have a good weekend if you're watching this during the weekend. Have a good week if not. Again, thank you again for watching. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.